Ready, go. We're live here at Peak Prosper. All right, cool. So Mike Morelli here with Scott Rowley from Peak Prosper. And guys, we're going to talk about really installing the routines and rituals that are going to allow you to really tap into the flow state. And, this is such a big one because really, I was just talking to someone today, but, we get into this place of we're goal-oriented guys, right? And we feel that we have to, grind and work really hard. And a lot of the times it can mean that we take on a lot and our lives become very busy. And then all of a sudden our mind is super scattered. Our schedule is super scattered. We're stressed out. We feel all over the shop. And it's really important to focus in on the routines and rituals that are going to allow you to really flow through your day instead of feeling like you're just being bombarded and your energy's all over the shop. So Scott's really a master at this, and we're stoked to do this today with you.
Yeah, stoked to jump in. And if you guys are listening in, please give us some likes, some comments. That really helps trigger the algorithm so that everyone else may benefit from these videos that we drop. And let's just talk about life without routine and the simple fact that the absence of routine creates utter chaos in our lives. And when we take the time to consciously install a couple of routines that are really simple in our lives, consistency is created, and we start to gain the result from compounding on the simple things on a daily basis. So, Mike, let's first talk a little bit about the utter chaos that is created when we lead our lives absent of routine. Can you think back to maybe a couple of years ago when your life lacked the routine and consistent disciplines that you practice on a daily basis? I mean, what was that like, dude?
Yeah, so the way that we do one thing is the way that we do almost everything. And if you think about your day-to-day routine, right? If it's super scattered and unorganized, I would bet that your mind is probably super scattered and unorganized. Your bedroom is super scattered and unorganized. Your email system looks probably crazy. And, I look back to that and I feel that it actually adds a pressure, right? Because you're a guy who, you want to achieve great things. You want to move the needle forward in life. And when you feel that your routine is scattered, you don't actually feel like you're moving the needle. And you kind of know that, but you keep working harder, like you keep grinding. And that just puts so much pressure on yourself because you're not going to reach your goals. You're not going to reach you're not going to meet your expectations. So it just causes insane amount of stress.
So you'd say you were experiencing more stress all those years ago when you had no routine in your life compared to now when you've got some consistency and structure to your daily rhythm.
Yeah, well, it's not that, it's important sometimes to go with the flow and to mix things up, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the fact that someone is working towards a dream and a goal, but they don't have a routine to get there. And so you're all over the shop, right? And you really lack clarity on the inputs that actually matter.
So, Mike, I'd like to kind of transition our conversation away from talking about the utter chaos that ensues in the absence of routine and just talk about a couple of high performance routines that I've been studying and practicing and teaching for several years now. Mike's implemented many of these in his own life. I practice them on a daily basis as well. And these routines are pulled straight from the GOATs, those greatest men of all time that are leaders in their industry. So I'd just like to completely get away from this notion, this idea of no routine, and even believing that having no routine is a pathway forward to a peaceful life, because I've found so much more peace, clarity, focus, strength, power in my life when I have these simple routines in place. And I think that routine gets overcomplicated. So I'd love to just spend some time really distilling down the basics. Let's get back to the basics and talk about some core routines that you can implement in your life. Today, I just want to talk about three. I'd like to talk about morning routine. I'd like to talk about something that I call the lunch hour of excellence, or LHOE. And then I'd love to talk about evening routine.
Sounds like a band name, LHOE.
LHOE. Dun, dun, dun.
Did you hear the new LHOE album on Spotify?
Yeah, you should check him out. I think Mike's the head singer in the band, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mike, let's just talk about maybe three uh, key pieces to a simple morning routine that could be ran in less than 30 minutes to really just create a state of calm, focus, and clarity as guys run into their day. I'm just curious, what are 3 pointers that you might suggest somebody put into their morning routine?
There's three things that I never miss from my morning routine, and the first is meditation. And guys, you probably have heard this drum being beat over and over by Scott and I, but it is so powerful to allow yourself to just center in the present moment. The scope of this video is not to go into meditation, but it's incredibly powerful. To journaling, right? And what the journaling allows me to do is just put my thoughts out on the paper, right? It really allows me to get clear on, okay, what am I thinking? How am I feeling? But most importantly, how do I want to show up today? Those are the questions I'll ask myself a lot these days. How do I want to think? How do I want to act? How do I want to feel today? Right. And just defining it, like, that's so key. What about you, Scott? What's one more thing that you can add in there for yourself that's powerful?
Yeah, I just want to put in plan. Just plan your day. And
Yeah.
I shared a video earlier today that you guys might go reference. It dives a lot deeper into how to plan your day and really how to stack your routines. I go into a structure for planning your day so that you really have the clarity that you need to go full steam ahead. But when we're looking at a plan for your day, I just like to come up with 5 things to focus on for the day that I actually write down on my daily planner so that I have clarity. We call these clear goals, and clear goals answer that question of what am I doing today to move the needle associated with my gargantuan goals. So this is just my daily 5 right here. The next routine that I want to talk about is a lunch hour. And a lot of people just grind through the lunch hour. They don't think lunch is important. And
Yeah, you turned me on to this.
I'm not even going to talk so much about the importance of eating some food, so much as really creating a routine and a ritual in the middle of the day so that you don't get stuck on this hamster wheel of just constantly going. Now, I call it the lunch hour of excellence because that's what I call it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's see if I actually remember what it is. I just did it today. So lunch hour of excellence has really 3 core pieces to it. And the first one is a little afternoon workout. So I'll actually work out in the afternoon for 15 to 45 minutes during my lunch hour. And then the second element is some food. Contrary to what people might say, like lunch isn't important, I don't need food in the middle of the day, it actually does give us the energy that we need to sustain our momentum into the later hours of the day. And then the third element is just resting for a little bit. I'll actually lay down for 15 to 20 minutes and meditate, fall into a short siesta. And
a lot of guys think that they're too hardcore to go take a nap in the middle of the day. And that's because a lot of men have been told that you have to grind to get what you want. And this is probably, man, I say that too much, the most important thing. There's no most important thing, but this is one of the most important things, is that what Scott and I are trying to really emphasize is that you should not be grinding yourself down to the bone. For what? Like, if you want to take a nap in the middle of the day, go lay down. Like, allow yourself to just feel good. And so you turned me on to that one big time, Scott, because I was a limiting belief for me. I used to be like, nah, man, I don't need that shit. You know what I mean? And it's just for what?
Just like grinding to a finish line that doesn't exist.
Yeah. Exactly.
Last routine that I want to talk about today that's really important is the evening routine.
Sacred.
Evening wind down. It's almost a ritual, which is the difference between a routine and a ritual. A ritual just has more meaning and sentiment behind it. Like birthday parties are a ritual that you might practice that happen on a routine basis. But let's talk about your evening ritual. And I'll share a couple of mine, Mike, but first I'd love to hear a few recommendations that guys might pack into their evening ritual.
Yeah, your phone should be off minimum an hour before bed, and minimum 2 hours is ideal. But we have to do it. This is just something that is just so important. And the amount of sleep science behind blue light affecting your REM sleep, which is arguably some of the most important couple hours that you spend of your life. REM sleep is so many powerful things are happening at that time. How the blue light from your cell phone really affects your sleep quality and even the ability to get to sleep, right? Faster and have deep sleep. So phone off 2 hours before bed, ideally. I would say another thing for me is that I will read, right? I will read, I will stretch out, I will meditate. So it's a ritual, like Scott said. Like I'm using that hour before bed where I'm just like, looking at the next day. I'll have a quick look. Okay, here's what I got going on tomorrow, right? I'll read a book, stretch out. It's just like I'm really getting into the zone where I'm telling my body, hey, it's over. It's over.
Just like really letting go of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Never trying to bring anything to bed with me. I'm thinking about the next day, just really forcing myself to just let it all go.
Brilliant. Well, I don't want to go add any more to that. I think that if you guys take away even three things that we've talked about today and go apply them to your own life, you'll find
Yeah.
yourself living in a more peaceful flow state. You'll bring more calm to your life. You'll have less anxiety. You'll be more centered and focused throughout the day. So consistency is the key, and
Yes.
make sure that you implement some solid routines in your life. So that's it
Yeah.
for today, guys. We'll see you again soon.
Yeah,
Peace.
absolutely. Peace.